Somalia reconsiders Ethiopian troops, a threat to sovereignty. The Somali government's recent openness to Ethiopian troop involvement in the African Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia, AUSM, has sparked widespread debate. For months, Mogadishu had firmly opposed Ethiopia's presence, citing sovereignty concerns and a controversial deal with Somaliland. A diplomatic breakthrough in Turkey, however, has shifted the narrative, raising fears of significant consequences for Somalia's sovereignty and stability. Somalia's federal government had previously demanded Ethiopia withdraw its troops unless it cancelled a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, with Somaliland that granted Ethiopia access to a Red Sea coastline in exchange for potential recognition of Somaliland's independence. Critics saw this as undermining Somalia's territorial integrity. In response, Somalia secured troop commitments from Burundi, Djibouti, Kenya, and Uganda to fill Ethiopia's absence. However, following talks hosted by Turkey, Somali leaders announced a readiness to reconsider Ethiopia's role in AUSM, despite growing concerns over Ethiopian overreach in Somali affairs. Ethiopia's involvement in Somalia is widely perceived as a pursuit of its own strategic interests. Framed as efforts to combat al-Shabaab, Ethiopia's actions often serve its geopolitical goals. Ethiopian troops operating under AMISOM have been accused of prioritizing regional dominance over Somalia's stability, fostering dependency, and manipulating Somalia's political landscape for economic and security gains. Critics argue that Ethiopia's actions undermine Somalia's sovereignty and contribute to the rise of puppet administrations, leaving Somalia fragmented and unable to build an independent government. During the Ankara dialogue, Somalia and Ethiopia agreed to respect each other's sovereignty, but the timing suggests Ethiopia's calculated move to reassert influence. For Somalia, the decision appears to risk autonomy while yielding to external pressures that could compromise national interests. Starting in January, AUSM will take over peacekeeping operations from AMISOM with 11,900 personnel, including Ethiopian troops. While Ethiopia's inclusion might boost capacity against al-Shabaab, it risks undermining credibility among Somalis who view Ethiopia with suspicion. Critics highlight that reliance on external forces, particularly Ethiopia, only deepens Somalia's dependence and weakens its sovereignty. As AUSM launches, the Somali government's decision to involve Ethiopian troops will face scrutiny. Failure to achieve meaningful progress could prolong instability and reinforce perceptions of foreign dominance. The government must ensure that AUSM's operations align with Somalia's long-term goals and sovereignty. To regain public trust, the Somali government must engage in transparent communication, clarifying how its decisions align with Somalia's interests. Without this, suspicions of Ethiopia's self-serving motives and concerns over sovereignty will persist. What do you think? Has Somalia compromised its sovereignty, or is this a pragmatic move for regional stability? Share your thoughts below.